This is the world of the unknown, where secrets are waiting to be unraveled and mysteries are begging to be solved. In this ever-growing world of mystery and intrigue, the pages of books have come to hold secrets that even the greatest minds have yet to decipher. These are the texts that have whispered their enigmatic tales across the ages, tantalizing readers with the promise of hidden knowledge and forbidden truths. From the dusty scrolls of ancient civilizations to the modern manuscripts of brilliant but elusive minds, these books have captured the imaginations of generations, leaving us with a sense of wonder and a burning desire to uncover their secrets. So gather your courage and join us on a journey into the darkness as we explore the most mysterious books in history, detailing untold truths about the life of Jesus, and attempt to unlock the secrets that they hold within their pages. Jesus of Nazareth was a man who walked the earth over 2,000 years ago and has left a profound and enduring impact on human history. He was a beacon of light in a world of darkness, a source of inspiration and guidance in troubled times. His teachings of love, compassion, and forgiveness continue to inspire millions of people around the world to this day. But despite his influence, there are many mysteries surrounding the life of Jesus. Who was he really? What was his true message? What secrets did he keep hidden from the world? Now, recent discoveries have shed new light on the life and times of Jesus, with what has become the most profound of these discoveries being a 2,000-year-old secret book that was recently uncovered by archaeologists. This mysterious book contains hidden writings and teachings that were not included in the traditional Christian Bible, offering a new perspective on the man known as the Son of God. According to some experts, this secret book suggests that Jesus was even more radical than previously believed, advocating for social justice and challenging the established power structures of his time. He was also depicted as a mystical figure with a deep understanding of the mysteries of the universe and the nature of the divine. And while the contents of this secret book are still being analyzed and debated, its discovery has sparked new interest in the life and teachings of Jesus. This secret and mysterious text is none other than the Gospel of Barnabas, a book that, since its discovery, has rocked the religious world and sent shockwaves through the halls of academia. This mysterious text has challenged many long-held beliefs about the life and teachings of Jesus Christ, and its controversial contents have caused a great deal of debate and controversy among scholars and religious authorities alike. And the fact that it was discovered due to the bungled efforts of a group of thieves also adds to its intrigue and allure. This ancient Bible is worth over $25 million and has become one of the most coveted possessions in the world of biblical studies. It is said to contain the true teachings of Jesus Christ, which some believe have been obscured or suppressed by the powers that be over the centuries. The Gospel of Barnabas is believed to have been written in the 16th century, making it a relatively recent addition to the canon of biblical texts. In this newly found Gospel of Barnabas, historians discovered that Jesus was never nailed to the cross, nor was he the Son of God. Instead, the story states that he was merely a prophet. Another shocking thing this story says is that Jesus was never nailed to the cross. Instead, he went to heaven quite easily due to the good works he did on earth. The man named on the cross was in fact Judas Iscariot. But it only just gets even more interesting from here. As you already know, there are two main religions on earth. These religions are the most widely practiced and often provoke strong feelings. As a result, these religions' followers are always at odds with each other. One of the main causes of their disagreements was the rightful prophet sent to earth. Muslims think it's Prophet Muhammad, while Christians think it's Jesus. The followers of both religions failed to accept the possibility of their prophet not being the right one, but new evidence has thrown this into more confusion. News stories from the Bible state that Jesus knew Prophet Muhammad quite well and even foresaw his arrival. As you can expect, this throws the law and order of both religions into question. What would accepting this new truth and reality mean for Christianity? More and more of these Christians are raising their own questions about the authenticity of this piece of information. Some are choosing to reject this new information, while some have decided to accept it. Majority, however, have decided to remain on the fence about it. These followers have started to realize the truth behind their doctored Bibles that are so much in circulation today. This new text shows that the leaders of each doctrine intentionally add and remove information as they please in order to suit their preferences. Other people are beginning to wonder what else these churches and doctrines are hiding from their loyal followers. And judging from the fact that this was hidden from us for more than 1,500 years, there are many new discoveries to be made. This new discovery has also thrown Jesus' healing factor and supernatural powers into question. We all know Jesus to be the man that turns water into wine effortlessly, the man who walks on water, the man who walked out of the crucifixion. But perhaps the most extraordinary power of this astonishing man is his ability to heal those around him. He was known for being able to heal the diseased by using just his words. Occasionally, though, he placed his saliva on the diseased to perform the same effect. While this story has a lot of backing from the modern-day Bible and Quran, the lack of backing from this newly discovered ancient Bible has raised a few eyebrows. This ancient Bible doesn't mention about these miracles. How this new discovery would affect the Christian religion as we know it remains a mystery. Additionally, more information has been found on the Codex Gigas. For those who don't know, the Codex Gigas is a text written by the devil himself. The devil was reportedly said to have written this book after getting summoned by a monk in black cloth in exchange for his life. The monk was from a well-respected monastery in Bohemia, and they were known for wearing black cloth and engaging in life-endangering acts. Some of these acts include starving themselves, isolating themselves, and self-mutilating their own bodies. This radical group of people with extreme religious views did this to show servitude to their god. This particular monk broke a big rule of the monastery and was to be punished by the authorities. The authoritative monks decided the monk's punishment would be getting walled up alive in the monastery. Essentially, this meant trapping him alive in a mausoleum. In order to escape death, the guilty monk decided to plead with the authorities, begging them to strike a deal with him. He believed he could write a book that included all sorts of things helpful to the monastery, including the Bible, and would help the whole of humanity. Some other useful information he was going to include were the names of several herbs and helpful incantations and spells. He told the monks he would write this book in exchange for his life getting spared. The authoritative monks agreed to this outlandish bargain, and a deal was made. It wasn't until he had started writing that he noticed how humanly impossible this task was. He tried his best, but he was still a long way from finishing the book by the clock of midnight. He feared the concept of his own death so much that he summoned the devil using a ritual out of desperation. In exchange for his soul, the monk asked the devil to help him complete his task so that his life would be spared. Agreeing instantly, the devil aided the monk in finishing the book in minutes. Science likes to authenticate and factually back claims, so naturally dozens of researchers have conducted intense research to discover the story's authenticity. These scientists have confirmed that this book was written by a single author in a very short period. Judging from the volume of the book, you would expect that this book was written for nearly a century and by several authors. However, that's not the case. As we mentioned earlier, this book was written by only one person. What's even more interesting is the fact that this book was written in less than a month at least. As you may have expected, this book also mentioned Jesus a few times, and the new revelation about this book's history has allowed historians to get even more findings about the Son of God. But the Gospel of Barnabas is far from the only ancient text found to contain strange and unnerving truths about Jesus. And while the Gospel of Thomas does not particularly tell the story of the life and death of Jesus, it offers great insight into what are some of his most tightly concealed and secret teachings. The opening lines of the Gospel of Thomas are like a whispered secret that has been passed down through the ages, a tantalizing clue to the hidden wisdom that lies beneath the surface of everyday life. They are like a secret door to a hidden chamber, revealing a tantalizing glimpse of the mysteries that lie within. The mention of Jesus' twin brother, Didymus Judas Thomas, adds a layer of mystery and intrigue to his life story, raising questions about the nature of their relationship and the significance of his role in the early Christian community. But maybe Thomas was not just a twin in name, but a twin in spirit, a kindred soul who shared a deep and abiding connection with Jesus that transcended the bounds of ordinary human relationships. Or maybe he was a rival, a challenger to Jesus' authority who sought to undermine his teachings and claim his own place in the history of Christianity. The Gospel of Thomas itself is a labyrinth of enigmatic sayings, each one a puzzle waiting to be solved. Some are like riddles with hidden meanings that must be teased out through careful contemplation and reflection. Others are like koans, paradoxical statements that defy rational explanation and invite us to enter into a deeper state of awareness. If you were ever to read through the Gospel of Thomas, you'd find yourself entering a world of myth and legend, where the boundaries between history and fiction blur and fade. According to this highly contrarian text, Jesus is not just a historical figure but a mythical hero and a divine messenger who came to bring salvation to the world. Although discovered more recently near Nag Hammadi, Egypt in December 1945 among a group of books known as the Nag Hammadi Library, scholars have proposed dates of composition as early as 60 AD and as late as 250 AD for this unorthodox text. The discovery of the Gospel of Thomas, which tells mythical tales about Jesus and his teachings at Nag Hammadi, was like finding a needle in a haystack. It had been hidden away for centuries, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal itself to the world and divulge unknown truths about one of the most followed personalities in the history of mankind. All of the new information about the teachings of Jesus that has now become public knowledge since this ancient text was discovered has renewed debates about Christian beliefs and philosophies among Christian scholars and historians alike. And while about 2/3 of its content is also found in all of the other synoptic Gospels, the Gospel of Thomas likewise details a possible allusion to the death of Jesus as against what's known in his crucifixion. And speaking of new information that has recently made its way into the Christian world, the Gospel of Barnabas has also been found to contain a great deal of such previously unheard details, particularly about the history of early Christians and monuments. For context, the last piece of new information gotten from this new Bible is better coordinates for the lost Ark of the Covenant. If you're a Christian, you should already be familiar with the Ark of the Covenant story. This ark was built under the supervision of Moses, God's right-hand man at the time. It was created after the Israelites left Egypt and were trying to make their way through Mount Sinai. God instructed Moses to direct the Israelites to build the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant contains several sacred biblical artifacts, such as several tablets which contain the Ten Commandments. These tablets, made from pure gold gotten from the Garden of Eden, as a way to symbolize the purity of these commandments. It went missing way back in 587 BC. Since that time, historians across centuries have been trying to get it in their hands, and now this book seems to have given yet another clue as to where this ark is. The ark is rumored to be in a cathedral in Ethiopia. If these rumors are true, it means that historians can find out even more information about his second coming. Another ancient text that's also been discovered to contain hidden truths about Jesus and his teachings is the apocryphal New Testament story now popularly known as the First Apocalypse of James. It's the oldest known copy of a text claiming to be Jesus' teachings to his brother James. Archaeologists and historians have long known about this vast collection of papyrus documents discovered at Oxyrhynchus in an ancient Egyptian trash dump. The discovery of this Greek edition of the First Apocalypse of James is particularly exciting, especially as it sheds new light on early Christian literature and the diversity of beliefs and practices in the ancient world. Although falling under what's considered apocryphal in Christian literature, it includes stories and teachings that were not included in the canonical Bible. Some scholars believe that these texts were suppressed by the early Christian church because they did not conform to the emerging Orthodox doctrine. This text was apparently very popular among early Christian communities, detailing the story of Jesus' secret teachings to his brother James, who is said to have been a leader of the early church in Jerusalem. The text contains a mixture of Gnostic and Christian ideas, and it presents a very different vision of Jesus and his teachings than the canonical Gospels. For example, it portrays Jesus as a spiritual being who appears to James in a vision rather than as a physical person who lived and died in Palestine. It contained many different interpretations of Jesus and his teachings in the first few centuries after his death, clearly proving that the early Christian movement was not monolithic as against popular teachings today. The First Apocalypse of James offers a fascinating insight into the beliefs and teachings of early Gnosticism, which was a prominent religious movement in the first few centuries of Christianity. This text presents a revolutionary perspective on Jesus, which is radically different from the traditional view of him as the Son of God and Savior of humanity. According to these Gnostic texts, Jesus was not a divine figure, but rather a wise sage who revealed the universe's secrets to those willing to listen. He taught that the material world was a prison created by an evil God who was responsible for the suffering and misery that plagued humanity. This ancient text also reveals how Jesus explains to his brother that the world is guarded by demonic archons who are tasked with keeping human souls trapped in the material realm. These beings stand in the way of the afterlife, and only those who possess the right knowledge and passwords can pass through them. The passwords are not just any ordinary codes, they are the keys to unlocking the mysteries of the universe. They represent the knowledge that Jesus imparted to his followers, which would allow them to break free from the material world and achieve spiritual enlightenment. The first apocalypse of James likewise contains vivid descriptions of the afterlife as taught by Jesus, which were highly imaginative and symbolic. The text describes a realm of light and beauty where the souls of the enlightened reside in peace and harmony. However, not all souls will be fortunate enough to attain this state of enlightenment. Those who were ignorant and trapped in the material world were destined for a different fate. The text describes a terrifying abyss where the souls of the wicked are consumed by flames and tormented by demons. A similar belief is echoed by the ancient Gospel of Judas, another ancient book retelling the life and times of Jesus. The revelations from this mysterious book are especially intriguing, attacking the very roots of modern-day Christian beliefs. According to this ancient text, Jesus chose Judas to carry out the betrayal because he was the only one among the disciples who understood his true mission. In fact, Judas was initiated into a secret knowledge that Jesus had revealed to him alone, making him the most trusted disciple of all. The document also reveals that the other disciples did not understand the spiritual teachings of Jesus and were focused only on the physical world. In contrast, Judas was the only one who grasped the true meaning of Jesus' message and was therefore able to carry out his task with full understanding and devotion. The Gospel of Judas challenges traditional Christian beliefs in a manner that no other ancient text has. It even went as far as suggesting that the crucifixion of Jesus, as is widely known today, was not a sacrifice to atone for the sins of humanity, but rather a necessary step in his journey toward enlightenment and ultimate union with the divine. This view of Jesus as a spiritual master rather than a sacrificial lamb is in line with some other Gnostic texts of the time. The Gospel of Judas also reveals a complex relationship between Judas and Jesus. While Judas is often vilified in the New Testament as a traitor who betrayed Jesus, in the Gospel of Judas he is presented as a trusted confidant who is privy to Jesus' secret teachings. This follows another shocking claim that the other apostles were actually worshipping a false god and were mistaken in their beliefs about the Eucharist and martyrdom. The Gospel of Judas largely presents a very different view of Jesus than the one portrayed in the New Testament, while also fiercely challenging traditional Christian beliefs about the resurrection of the faithful, as are documented to have been taught by Christ. Instead of a physical resurrection, the Gospel of Judas teaches that the resurrection will be spiritual. This would have been a radical departure from mainstream Christian teachings, emphasizing the importance of the physical resurrection and the coming apocalypse. A recently uncovered document that had been gathering dust in the British Library and is now considered to be the Lost Gospel has also unraveled mind-boggling details about the missing years of Jesus' life. The mystery of Jesus' early years has always fascinated scholars and theologians alike. Despite the abundance of historical records available about the time and place in which he lived, there is virtually no information about Jesus' upbringing, schooling, or even his interactions with his own family members. Was he a curious and precocious child? Did he struggle with his studies, or was he a natural scholar? One particularly intriguing aspect of Jesus' early life is his exposure to the Hebrew Bible. Given his eventual reputation as a skilled teacher and religious leader, he likely had access to these sacred texts from an early age. But how did he come to study them? Did he attend a synagogue or receive private instruction from a rabbi? Well, this new document from the archives of the British Library has now provided new evidence to suggest that Jesus' life may have taken a very different path than the one typically depicted in the Bible. According to this document, Jesus was engaged and later married and had sexual relations that resulted in the birth of children. This revelation challenges many of the long-standing beliefs about Jesus' celibacy and calls into question the nature of his relationship with his followers. In fact, this mysterious document further indicates that for some of his original followers, Jesus' marriage was the most important aspect of their theology. This suggests that his family life may have played a central role in his teachings, and that his followers, among other things, saw him as a model of family values and domestic virtue. The new findings in question have caused quite a stir among both the religious and scientific communities alike. Some see them as evidence of a divine hand at work in the world, while others view them as a challenge to long-held beliefs about divinity and the nature of reality. For those who believe in a traditional interpretation of religious texts, these findings may be difficult to reconcile. However, for others, they may represent an exciting opportunity to explore new ways of understanding the world around us. At the same time, there are those who remain skeptical of the validity of these findings. They may view them as a cleverly orchestrated hoax designed to deceive the gullible and unsuspecting. Regardless of which camp you fall into, one thing is certain: these new findings have the potential to shake up our understanding of the personality of Jesus, the religion of Christianity, and the world as a whole in profound ways. Whether they are accepted or rejected, they will continue to spark debate and discussion for years to come. So what do you think about these new findings? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.